Hi everyone, welcome to DOdaily, Thursday Thoughts. It's Des here, checking in with the live questions and my answers session. Chance to feedback some of your thoughts, to invite people to get involved on a Thursday. If you've got any comments to make, please do. If you've got any questions for me to ask today, I'd love to receive them throughout. Got some good ones to go at. Always enjoy coming on the Thursday. It's a chance to, like I say, interact, get involved, and give people the chance to have their say. I talk throughout the week at the camera, and this is just an opportunity to come on board and support the channel. Talking about supporting the channel, if you could give this episode a thumbs up right now, just down here, that'd be absolutely amazing. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. All I'm trying to do on DOdaily is share some positivity and enthusiasm for the things I do, and perhaps help, support and encourage people wherever I can by being honest, open, quite candid with my thoughts and my opinions, and just passing some information on, probably stuff that we all know, but sometimes it's good to hear, and it's good to hear somebody else saying it. And that's all I'm trying to do, is just be a friendly face, I guess. Somebody who says it how it is without any of the bullshit, any of the bravado. I experience all of life's ups and downs. And wherever I can, of course, I look to encourage activity, participation, and being inclusive. And when we've got all those things, as well as communication, we're halfway there to being happy and content with the things we've got. If you want to get involved in the show, already mentioned that you can comment. Please check out those links scrolling across the bottom, and the new thing up there somewhere. Got to learn not to wave my hands too much with the virtual background, but the new links at the top of the page. Of course, follow DOdaily across all of them. That'll be absolutely amazing too. I'll do my best to be all those things I said I would be, to be honest and relatable, and to churn through whatever's coming my way today. Like I say, please do comment on anything you hear before I start. As ever, thank you to all those getting involved. It's absolutely amazing when you do. It gives me some great support, and it gives me some content to talk about on a Thursday. It's just a chance to kind of start the wind down to the weekend, I guess. Start reflecting on the week. It's been the DOdailies have been quite, not heavy, but I've spoke a lot about the way I'm feeling and how I'm trying to readjust things and feel good about what I'm doing. So again, it's just a chance to sort of start winding down, talking about whatever the viewers want. Good range of questions today, and while some of them are not usual subjects, I've already mentioned the mental health side of it, the encouragement to do activity. I will talk about absolutely anything. So if you've got a question, just something you'd want me to talk about for a few minutes, something to answer, please pop that in. Like I say, as ever, we'll start with last week's throwback, chance to get involved. I mentioned the fact that I'd been to Newcastle. Friday's episode the week before was in Newcastle. Really enjoyed that. Getting somewhere different. And again, it just sparked a few memories. Inspires me as well, that place, down by the River Tyne. Anyone that's been there will know what I mean. Such a majestic city in many kind of ways. So I absolutely loved it. And I just thought it'd be a great way to get people involved. A couple of responses here, not too many. John says he always lives his trip. He enjoys a trip north to Newcastle, just like myself. Plenty of things to do up there. I went for football on this occasion, but I'm back there in a couple of weeks for the Great North Run, and that alone is a fantastically inspiring occasion. Kay says, I love London. You can do something completely different every time, and I love the landmarks. Absolutely. Definitely can do that. Myself and Kay have spent a lot of time there during the time we've been together. And we found ways of enjoying it. We've done the landmarks. We've done the London Eye. We even had a picnic once in Primrose Hill after a bit of a treasure hunt to get the food. So all those kind of things to know. There's always something to do. It's an amazing place. Again, I get so much from it. I run there. I go to football there. I just go for days out there. Just an amazing place to be. And Dawn says her favourite place will always be Cromer, even though it's a small little town, a seaside town. Can completely understand that. I know she's got plenty of memories from there, and that's why she picks that one out as well. So just a few ideas, just a few things there, and that's all the throwback is. It's just a way to get involved, to leave a comment. I can read out your name if you don't want me to read out your name. I can make it anonymous. It's just a chance to sort of get on the channel and say a few things. We've got a comment here from Eve. Hello, Des. Hope you're okay. I'm going to be doing a late night workout shortly, floor exercises and dumbbell weights. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to the gym. Absolutely fantastic, Eve. That's what it's about. There's never a wrong time, is there? There's never a wrong time to do activity. And of course, I'll always encourage that. On a Thursday, I do a coaching session, put the guys through the paces this evening with a tough hill session in the park. A little bit in preparation for the Robin Hood Half Marathon in a couple of weeks. There's plenty of hills that the guys have to take part in, but also to match up the elevation from the Robin Hood. So I've been sort of drilling them up the hills. I was stood at the top myself shouting. So again, it's fantastic to be involved in all that kind of thing, in and around activity. Whilst I didn't do a great deal myself today, it was all about sort of getting the guys working and sort of drawing some inspiration from them as well. So can do that from you as well, Eve. That, like I say, there's never a wrong time, whether it's early, late, in the middle of the day. Everybody's got the preference. So I think it's important just to sort of remember that and not necessarily write it off after it gets to a certain point. I think we all love getting out early, but if you can do it when it works for you, that's absolutely fantastic. So good luck with that, Eve. Moving into the questions. I thought this one might come up today. Sam asked, what do you think of Forest's rumoured record signing? Well, I'm absolutely buzzing. Absolutely. I can't believe it. I can't believe Forest are about to spend £44 million on a player. That is absolutely blown my mind. And whilst the guy's a good player, whether he's worth that, I don't know. It is the one. When we got promoted, I talk a lot on other channels. Of course, Mr. Door's channel. Shout out for Door on Tour. Please subscribe to that. But I talk on other channels, and as soon as the season finished, as soon as we got promoted, and we're talking about who we want to sign, who we want to get in, Morgan Gibbs-White was the first name. So for Forest to sign 16 players so far and still be rumoured to be looking at more, it's absolutely incredible. And this guy is someone I watched a lot last season. Really, really excited. So whilst I've been excited about my football recently, this one's really sort of got me going. I can't wait to see him playing a Forest shirt. And more importantly, I guess, than even that, I can't wait to see him work under Steve Cooper, because I always rave about how he improves players. This guy is almost a finished article as it is. So for him to come to Forest now and work with a manager that works with young players, makes them better, increases the value, tends to do that with everybody in the team. If he increases this guy's value, who knows what's going to happen? The sky's the limit. So I'm just so excited about it. I've not been excited by a Forest signing for a very long time like this, and this one is just absolutely incredible. I think it almost ensures survival as well. I'm not saying that's going to be easy. I'm not counting my chickens, but I just can't wait to see him play. Hopefully, he plays at Everton on Saturday and scores the winning goal. But because I'm going up there, excited about that as well. Whilst I'm talking about football, of course, I always try and nip it in the bud, because I know this is not everybody's cup of tea. Whilst they're looking in at me, trying to motivate and inspire, it's not always about football. But I'm going to Everton, the first time I've ever been there. I've actually been to every football ground in the top division, 2 divisions, but I never went to Everton. So I've been eagerly awaiting this fixture. Managed to get my ticket, managed to get another couple of away tickets this week. So doing well on that front, but really excited to see Morgan Gibbs-White play. Can't believe it. Honestly, the figure is just mind-blowing. The record transfer fee till last season was 15 million, and that was staggering. and that was a player who didn't really work out. So hopefully, you never know with signings, Morgan Gibbs works out. Anybody of a Forest persuasion, I know I get the viewers from the Forest supporters. If you've got a comment to make, please drop it in. I'd love to read those out. To know if you're as excited as me, I know you'll be pretty damn excited about it. So really, really looking forward to that, and can't wait to talk about it with the guys, whether it's on the football channels or at the match. Can't wait to really get stuck into that one. But yeah, that's really got me going today. Perhaps one of the reasons I'm a bit late, I've been sort of floating around sport. Kay was telling me off. She wants tea. She was saying, get on DOdaily, get it done. And I was watching the sport and reading about Morgan Gibbs-White. Again, these things are good things, aren't they? And just have to make the most of them. But thanks for the question. I'm really glad I got to speak about that on here this evening. Kay, ask a question. Would you prefer a brutally hilly 10K or a fast, flat half marathon? I think that comes on the back of that coaching session I mentioned before. I've had them running basically half of a 10K uphill and then taking it easy going down and working really hard getting back up. So a brutally hilly 10K or a fast, flat half? It depends, doesn't it? You know, there's something about the hills that when you're in the right frame of mind, when you're up for the challenge, you know, they all said after how much they enjoyed it, how much they got from it. It felt like a real workout. And sometimes when we're on the flat, of course, if we're running fast, we're achieving things. You know, we're feeling great about it. We might be attacking our PBs. That's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? But either way, the reality is both are great workouts, aren't they? If you're getting a fast, flat half marathon time, you know, that's going to build confidence. But then sort of trudging it, churning it out, going up and down hills like I've had the guys doing tonight, you get so much from that as well, because you lose some of those inhibitions with them. We're all like, sometimes it's easy to resort to the flat on our training runs, but through the coaching, through the boot camp type nature of what I do, I sort of instill them and get the guys doing something completely different. Whilst it's not massively technical and scientific, what I am doing is making them accountable and setting out a session for them, basically in the nicest possible way, not giving them a choice. So it's good for them to come along. I'd like to think of myself as a little bit of a motivator rather than a technical coach. You know, I know my limitations, but I know what I can get out of people when sort of push them and stand at the top of the hill shouting at them and pulling them on. There was a point where Kay herself said she was about finished, but I was stood there saying, you can do it, you know, show the guys and push on, and she really did push through. And that's what's good about it. So just a little plug for that. If anybody close to Nottingham or needs some coaching, wants to get involved, it's really, really cheap. But I do it as a separate thing to of course, all this is free and what I say here, but I do it as a separate thing to DOdaily, an in-person coaching session. Please get in touch, DM me, and I'll explain what all that's about. But what we do is get results, and whichever way we attack it, it seems to work. Kind of sat on the fence a little bit there, you know, brutally hilly 10Ks. You know, I love a hilly run. You know, once I've done it, it's hard. You know, but what you have to remember sometimes is just to sort of drop the pace a little bit, get up it, do what you need to do, and really, really attack it. If you've got any comments on what you'd prefer, whether it's hills or a flat one at twice the distance, and it's quite a long twice the distance. It's not straightforward, is it, when you're running half marathon? And I've got a couple coming up, which I've really got to knuckle down to. But if you've got a preference on what you'd rather do, please drop it in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. Going back to the first question, I thought I'd get some responses to this. The True Red, I'm quite surprised about us paying 44.5 million for Morgan Gibbs-White, considering Wolves rejected 3 previous bids for him. Find it far too much for him myself. I totally understand that. I totally get it. It seems a lot of money, but it's like anything in life, isn't it? The value is what you're prepared to pay. And if Forest were prepared to pay that, I actually think it was about 35 million. And if it's a success with add-ons, it goes up to 44. Let's hope we have to pay that now, because if we do, you know, it means it's been a success. It could be the difference. If Morgan Gibbs-White scores 1 goal, that keeps us in the Premier League. That will repay that more than double, more than quadruple. So I think it's fascinating now to see what we get from him and how he does live up to that price tag. But again, I'm just really, really pleased to have him. I must admit that the numbers are staggering, and in many ways I agree. But obviously Steve Cooper wanted him. Mr. Marinakis, the chairman, who don't take any crap, got involved. So obviously he's up for it as well. So it'll be really fascinating to see how it all pans out now. What I will say is just I'm defending him a little bit now. Just let him settle in, let him do his stuff, and I'm sure we'll get great results from him. Another regular viewer, Paul, who comments a lot. Really appreciate the support, Paul. Hi, Des. I'll be back on my daily bike rides tomorrow after 10 days off. Really looking forward to it. Amazing how you miss it when you can't go. Have a good day in Liverpool on Saturday. Well, thanks for wishing me a good day on Saturday. Really appreciate that, Paul. Really looking forward to it. Got a bit of a day planned, looking to take in a park run on the way. Get back to some running as well, and hopefully vlog it so I can put that out next Wednesday. But it is when I don't run, I moan about how much I miss it. Sometimes it's not easy to go and do it. I'm struggling a little bit with it at the moment. But I'm hoping the cooler temperatures, just help a little bit. I think in many ways, lots of us who aren't quite 100% with our activity at the moment, in many ways, it's quite like the cooling of the temperatures is quite a relief, isn't it? If we're a little bit unfit, it just helps us sort of prolong our activity that little bit more. And whilst the rain and the cold can upset us, I love a nice rainy summer run. It always makes me feel great about what I'm doing. So good luck with the bike rides. Make sure you get back on it. Make sure you keep listening to Do Daily and keep supporting Paul. And I know you're a Forest fan. Get on Dialing with Des on Door on Tour on Monday. Just a shout out for that as well. Whilst I do my own daily YouTube channel, I've got a program on Door on Tour. Of course, that's really, really successful. Anybody of a football persuasion, Paul sort of backed that comment up as well. Latest info is that it's 25 million up front plus add-ons. Even better. Sometimes we can't believe everything we see in the media, can we? So if we're getting in for sort of half the price, we think that's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? So I was sorry, I interrupted myself there with the plug for Dialing with Des. I do a live phone in on a Monday night talking about the weekend's action. So if you are a football persuasion, please do come on and support. It's really, really easy. Head over to there, subscribe to Door and Tour, and check me out Monday at 9 o'clock. Another comment from me: when I went running last night, it was lovely and cool. Absolutely, and that's what I'm saying, isn't it? It's a lot easier sometimes when it's cooler. It can be harder to motivate as well when the sun's not out and the sky's not blue. But if you get out there, I can assure you, it's still equally as good. So keep at it, guys. Keep up with your activity, and of course, I'll always encourage that, won't I? That one of the real reasons I do this channel is to encourage activity and exercise, and of course my passions are running and walking, but it's important just to do it. I believe there's a direct link with mental health and physical health. I know when I'm out there pounding the pavements, I'm feeling so much better about everything else and so much happier and content. I'm feeling great at the moment, but I'd love to be doing a bit more activity, because I know when it's the perfect drug, it's the perfect thing for keeping me going. And when I do get little setbacks, they don't affect me because the endorphins kick in and just keep me going. So keep working hard, guys, and I can assure you it'll pay off. A question from Sarah here. You've spoken this week about being organised and getting things done. What's your top tip to put off procrastinating? Well, again, whilst I have been organised, there's lots of ways I've probably procrastinated as well. It's just the way life is. What I've tried to do now is stop beating myself up when I have done it. Just think I can only do what's next. We can't change the past. We've got to just look at whatever's next and whatever we want to do, and just do something to work towards it. I keep talking about in the evenings about how we can look back and take positives out of the day. I don't look back and try and find negatives. It'd be easy to do that as well, but I try and find the positives. If I'm not feeling great, I'll try and find whatever's impacting me negatively to turn it into a positive. So again, it's just about keep looking forward. Whatever's gone, we can't change. I've been there. I do it. I still do it. Whilst I can advise it, I look back and go, "Oh, I didn't run today, so I can't go." Well, I could put off going for a run tomorrow, but I've just got to keep sort of taking each day at a time with that one. With other things, I'm going full steam ahead with DOdaily, with YouTube channels, with the wedding, with all sorts of things. Full steam ahead, looking further than the next few days, the next day or two. But with the running and the activity in particular, I've just got to go a day at a time. Yes, there's things I need to sort of work to. But again, if I look too far whilst it's not working, I'm just going to get myself into a bit of a mess, and I will just keep procrastinating even more. So it's a case of just keep working at the things you enjoy, the things you do, and then everything falls into place. And of course, the motto on DOdaily is just doing it, isn't it? So if something needs doing, it's a case of just doing it. Me and Kay had a conversation in the car the other day about a little job we had to do for the wedding, and I said to her, I just need a few minutes. And all of a sudden, thinking about it, for a few minutes, the whole idea of what we wanted to do came to us, and it was a really good idea, and it just felt great. So again, it's just sort of allowing yourself that time to process everything. The best thing I do is DOdaily at the end of the day. When it is nearer the end of the day, I get a chance to process everything. When it's a bit earlier, it means I'm almost starting the wind down and I can enjoy the rest of my evening. So again, I'm sort of compartmentalizing everything, getting an idea of what needs doing and where it needs doing. And again, when we're not feeling fantastic, what we tend to do is just everything's up in the air, isn't it? We switch out completely, we forget, we bulldoze our way through things. The reality is just take one thing at a time. If you're struggling with procrastination, getting one job done, however bad it is or however much you don't want to do it, once it's done, it brings satisfaction, whatever it is, because it's done. And here is a tip. Get the worst job done first. That is the best tip anybody can ever give anyone. If you're busy, if you're tired, if something's sort of playing on your mind, and again, I can be a little bit guilty of it. I'm not preaching or saying I do it perfect, but if you've got a job to do and you really need to get it out of the way, just get it done. Because once that job's done, you'll feel great about doing something that's a little bit more straightforward, a little bit easier, and something you need doing. When it comes to activity, sometimes, whether it's raining, whether it's first thing in the morning, it's just a case of getting out there, sticking your trainers on and getting it in. Once it's done, again, you feel amazing. With these guys at the coaching session, at various points, there could be 2, there could be 10, but I'm making them accountable by being there. I try not to tell them what's coming, and again, it's just one of those where it's there laid out for them. So as long as they put themselves there, there's no procrastination, is there? They won't go and run up the hills. We have this conversation every time. I ask them for feedback on the session. Would you have done that? Absolutely not. And that's why such things are so important. Just making yourself accountable. A lot of the time I'll say things through DOdaily. I'll say, I'm going to do this with the intention of going and doing it. It's not often when I do that. It does happen, but it's not often I do that without doing it. The True Red says coaching is literally the best thing to do it with Burnley Football Club and the community department on Friday evening. I find it so beneficial to get out and help. Coaching is amazing. Coaching is not something I ever expected myself to do. It's one of those things that I've kind of stumbled into by talking a lot on DOdaily, by trying to create this holistic approach to running and like a running boot camp type thing, taking it to that next level from the running groups I put on, where people come to enjoy the inclusive environment, but not necessarily. There's some people who perform well and quickly and progress naturally, but at the coaching sessions, it's more geared to it. I decided to do something just on 1 New Year. I put it out there. A couple of the guys joined me, and people have taken it on from there. And it's one of the best things I've done. A lot of the time, I wish I was running. Even tonight, I went with the intention, maybe I'll be running, maybe I'll not be running. And again, I could beat myself up because I didn't run, but I got so much from the session. You know, I mentioned what Kay did. Halfway through, she said she was going to stop. When she finishes the whole lot, because I gave her that choice almost, when she finishes it, because I've been there encouraging her, it feels absolutely amazing. It feels fantastic. And I really, really sort of get so much from that. And again, as somebody who likes to help people, that's an amazing feeling. It's quite addictive when you see people achieve. You know, I just want to keep seeing that. Of course, I need to sort of find it within myself to achieve myself again and alongside them, because the best thing all around is when I'm taking part, we're all achieving together, you know. But I tend to get so proud, and it's quite humbling when the guys do particularly well. Ian's just commented here, we had a great training session tonight. Thanks, Ian. Just some kudos there for what we've done. Ian's just easing back in. And again, whilst the sessions are hard work, it's all relative to the individual. A couple of the guys, I wasn't pushing particularly hard because they've been injured. All I'm trying to do is ease them back in, perhaps pass on one or two ideas of how they can attack it with a little bit less force, you know, and help them. All the sessions are relative as well. It's not for supreme athletes, you know, absolutely all levels of people getting involved. So it's fantastic in that sense. And Paul's made a comment as well here. As far as procrastination is concerned, I found over 50 years that getting married solved it for me. Procrastination is simply not allowed. Well, hopefully that works for me as well, Paul, because I think it's, well, I think she'll tell me off for that. I know it's 2 weeks on Saturday, which is absolutely bonkers. I can't believe I'm getting married in 2 weeks. So hopefully that stops me. And I mentioned already procrastinating tonight, watching the sport before I come on to talk. And she's saying, get upstairs and get that DOdaily done so we can have tea. So probably setting myself out for 50 years of what you've had. But no, of course, again, it's the accountability of it all, isn't it? We make a big decision. We make a big commitment. I spoke about that on Monday. Check out this week's episodes to see where I'm at with all that. But I spoke about the commitment and feeling comfortable with it and almost making my own sort of, making myself accountable to the fact I said I kind of, in some ways, you know, I want to settle down. And that's not through expectation from Kay or expectation of conformity or what marriage should be, you know, because I don't have to. It's just in some ways I won't, but some ways I want things just to settle down, get some nice routines. And of course, getting married is all sort of part of the future as well, isn't it? So thanks for that comment. Aaron, good comment here. Backing up that last sort of those comments I've made about coaching, what's your biggest achievement as a coach? There's a couple of things I'm going to sort of go into with that, because I get so much satisfaction out of it. Just getting the guys up on a Tuesday morning at 6 o'clock, you know, that's brilliant. Just when new people turn up, that's fantastic. When you get nice feedback, that's amazing. But it's just seeing the smile on people's faces. There was one Tuesday where I think there was a group of about 8 of us, and we do something that's called a time trial almost every month, where I handicap the guys and they all try and get a 5K PB. One Tuesday, 6 of them out of the 8 got a PB. That's absolutely stunning. You know, it works. You know, those guys are still getting results. It's been the bulk of the same people for 18 months, and they're still achieving. You know, and when they get knocked back, they come back and they pick up from where they left off. You know, so 6 people getting a PB over 5K on one night, that's absolutely amazing. Absolutely love that. Feel like that was one of my great achievements. But I guess, you know, when I really sort of think about it, what I do here through DOdaily, whilst it's not watched by the world, you know, I know what it is. I know where it's at as a channel. I know how many people watch. And it's not the most popular. But when I get an email and somebody wants to tell me about their life and what they're doing, you know, and I get a chance to respond to it or invite them, meet up with them to say hello. I bumped into somebody I know through YouTube in the pub this week, and they said hello and then sent me a message afterwards saying it was great to meet. Those kind of things without doing it for that, because I definitely don't do it for ego. But when people want to share their experience with you, It doesn't matter where we are or what we are as people. That's brilliant. You can't buy that. You can't. Again, it comes down to communication and relationships, doesn't it? And I absolutely love that side of what I do. Whilst I say it all the time, kind of put the disclaimer in there. Of course, I wish people didn't feel uncomfortable with themselves. I wish there weren't mental health issues out there. I wish it wasn't needed to do it. But the reality is, it's always going to be the case, isn't it? It's always going to be the case that somebody's not feeling great. There'll be times when I'm not feeling great. But the more people you've got around you, the more people you feel comfortable talking to. I've spoke really deep about times when I didn't feel I had much going on around me and how tough it was. And this is what sort of drove me to do what I do now. So that kind of thing, it's just brilliant. What it really is. It's sad sometimes. It gets me. I'm quite emotional. Getting worse being around Kay, but it gets to me. It gets to me sometimes. But I'm not ashamed to say that. Because if I wasn't that, if I wasn't emotional, if I wasn't honest, there'd be no point doing what I do here. So I think the best side of it is actually just when people get in touch and say, this is what's happening, and want to talk to me. Not necessarily ask me for advice, but talk to me, and then I'll email them back, and then we might get further into things, and then they might ask, or I might offer something. And just talking to people, I've done it. I've had about 3 conversations this week with people around sort of how they're feeling and the fact that they're not feeling great. And if I can, I always talk about these small wins, don't I? And looking back at the positives. If I look back on the week, how can it not be a success if I've done that? I've touched on the number of views. The channel's not massive. People don't necessarily watch it and feel comfortable around it. But those that do, that's all that really matters. So really, really appreciate that comment and that one as well, Aaron. Really appreciate you sort of supporting the channel in that way. And hopefully it made sense what I was saying there. The True Red says, yeah, it might be from the age of 5 to 14 years old to coach 2 sessions, but I find it enjoyable. It doesn't matter who it is, does it? I've just said there, there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong people to coach. If you're impacting someone's life, if you're making it a little bit more positive, what a feeling. What a feeling. And I said before, it's really addictive. And I mean it. It really is. And that's what drives you to keep doing it. And when you're doing it for genuine reasons, people will always question motives and your reasons for something. But when you do it for purely genuine reasons, it doesn't matter what anyone says, because you do it because you love it, and that's all that matters. So thanks for those questions. Brilliant. That I've really, really enjoyed sort of getting through those. And just another comment here, and I'm going to read this out because if I can add some comments. So worst thing to do is bleep test. It's a killer. My PE teacher made me do it at the start of every year back in the high school. Wow, I'll let you into something. This boot camp training, the True Ed, there's some of the bleep testing there as well. I've had them doing that up and down the River Trent. It's an absolute killer. But again, it's just about working hard, getting those results, building confidence and feeling amazing about what we do. And again, for me, watching the guys, we record things, I push them, I tell them what they did last time. Absolutely brilliant. So again, it's that kind of level of toughness. It is tough, but again, I'll reiterate, it's relative to the individual as well, whilst we find a nice way of making it inclusive. So yeah, thanks for everyone. Really, really enjoyed tonight's questions. Really enjoyed, of course, talking about Morgan Gibbs-White. I almost feel like bursting into football chants, but I won't. I'll save you, and I'll save me the embarrassment. This week's throwback: do you prefer to tackle a challenge or enjoy something you know you're capable of? Again, I always talk about comfort zones, don't I? Kay asked the question about the fast flat half marathon or the hilly 10K, and I'm just about pumped for the hilly 10K. It's about getting out of comfort zones, giving things a go. But again, at times, it's nice to feel confident about what you're doing, to enjoy things. I've spoken a lot tonight about the work I do on the football channel and what I do here. I speak so much more fluently, and I can articulate things better on the football channel. I love that. I love being involved, but this is my real passion. This is what I want to do. So it's important for me to keep doing it. Whilst I know I'm probably better at that, I'm getting out my comfort zone here, aren't I? So I'm taking on the challenge. YouTube's not easy. I see lots of people popping up and doing it and then disappearing very quickly. It's not an easy thing to crack. I'm not saying I've cracked it. I've been doing it for over 2 years. Got nearly 700 subscribers. I wish half of them would view each episode, but they don't. It's an ongoing thing, and it's a work in progress. What I did do, I wanted to be better at supporting people. It all stemmed from COVID, and it was a way of getting out of my comfort zone. So that's so important to do. But again, which is your preference, or which have you settled into? Which would you want to crack out of? Whichever way you see it, I'd love to get some responses. Please comment, whether it's on this live feed, whether you're watching after, in the comments on any of the videos throughout the week. Email des@dorunning.org.uk. If you don't want to be named, I'm quite happy to put it as anonymous and not mention who it is. I understand with some of the subjects we talk about that's quite important. Not everybody's as comfortable as I am at speaking openly and candidly about the things I do. So I'd love some responses. No wrong answers. There's absolutely no wrong answers. It's all to try and help people in their own personal experiences and feel that they can do something perhaps a little bit different. And that's all it's about. So please get in touch whichever way you can. I've said it already. Please like this episode. Give it a thumbs up right now if you haven't already. That would be absolutely fantastic. I've really, really enjoyed this. Loving this new background as well and all these new graphics on the screen. Really, really enjoy that. So just a couple of comments. Bleep testing -5 earlier in the year. Yes, I had them doing that. And Ian remembers it as well. The worst one was 6 a.m. on a cold morning was the worst one. I had them on the Victoria Embankment in the freezing fog doing a bleep test. I don't know why they keep coming back, to be honest. But again, they absolutely loved it. They went home on a cold day when everybody's a bit fed up with the weather. They felt fantastic for it, and that's what it's all about. And talking about getting up early, of course, tomorrow is Wake Up to Walk, which will be available to watch, not your watch, from 7 p.m. tomorrow. I'll be out reflecting on everything I've said throughout the week and why it's important, how I can take that forward into my weekend, probably infusing about all the things I have tonight, looking to get some activity in, get my day started in the best possible fashion, and explain to you guys why that's important too. I've been doing that. It's almost been the same explanation for all the time I've been doing the YouTube channel, but it doesn't change. It's an amazing time to get up and out, get some fresh air, attack the day. I've got a nice weekend in store again without it being absolutely manic as they have been recently, whilst I'm going to Liverpool and looking to get that park running. Around that, it should be quite steady, the running groups and some nice plans with Kay tomorrow. So I'll get more into that. I'll be reflecting on things, explaining why I've said it and how I can take it forward and why it's important, all the usual. And that'll be available, like I say, from 7 p.m. tomorrow. Once again, guys, thanks for all the input. I really, really appreciate it. It really gives me something to talk about, some content. Really, really do. I've really enjoyed this episode. I think this has been one of the best Thursdays yet. So thanks to everybody who's got on board, supported, liked, subscribed, and who keeps watching. Until the next time, have a great evening. Just doing it.